Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name's Enrique, and today I'm proud to be joined by a very special guest. It's been a good few months since I last saw this man, and like I said to him just off camera a moment ago, it reminisced of Upton Park, it reminisced of the bowling ground when I saw him on his professional debut, and what a night it was. Of course, unfortunate that he didn't get his debut on the September the 2nd, but everything happens for a reason. October the 14th, spectacular debut. Oh my God, the arena was rocking for him. And like I said, just cheering and chanting, I'm forever blowing bubbles. And I just sold my car to JP Omeaea. That's the chant I'm going to go with. JP, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. How's yourself?
I'm great. Ended off 2023 on a high and starting off 2024 on a high. How did you end 2023 and how did you start 2024?
Yeah, it's been going well. Obviously ended 2023 2-0, so had a good little break over Christmas. Went New York, had a little holiday, and obviously then it was Christmas, so had a nice little break, and then back into it in 2024. And obviously the recent news with signing with Condom Boxing, so ended well and it started well, so I can't complain.
Congratulations, mate. And I did see that post, and that is something we will pick up on in a moment. But you've got 100 questions on my mind, but probably even a million, but we're going to go there. I was like, no wonder. I was literally looking for it. It was like, where's Wally? But where's JP Omeaea in sense of your call? Obviously, you were sworn by your fans, and no wonder. Now I realize why I couldn't find you. But talk about the professional debut, October 14th. And as I say again, as good as professional debuts go, you smashed it and you turned it into Upton Park.
Yeah, it was definitely a night to remember. I still actually watch videos back now because I look back and I sort of get goosebumps from the atmosphere and everything. But performance-wise, I was happy with it. I didn't get sort of overwhelmed with the atmosphere. Didn't like overcommit or everything. So I think I've done a mature performance, and yeah, it was a special night, like I said.
I love to hear that. And you can recap me on it and catch me up on it. But what was your walkout song on the night?
Murder on the Dance Floor. So it's a good song, but I don't know if I'm coming up to that again from the recent film. So gonna have to change it.
I love to hear that, bro. And just break it down because I'm always proud being a West Ham fan. Obviously, I'm wearing the Lakers right now, a huge NBA fan, Lakers fan. We're purple, nearly Clara. But essentially, just going on there now, nothing makes me more proud than when I see a West Ham fan or someone wearing a West Ham clothes, because for a long while, we hadn't had someone since Kevin Mitchell, and now Connor Ben, you, Sonny Hardy, John Hedges, Finney James, Joel Bartel. Sorry if I forgot anyone off the top of my head, but there's so many West Ham fans breaking out and through the scenes right now. And just talk about not only making West Ham fans proud, not only making West Ham proud, but just taking over your call. And obviously East London is rightfully ours, but just turn it into a little Upton Park, a bowling ground.
Yeah, it was a special night. Obviously, the video you got when I was fighting, everyone singing Bubbles. I remember hearing it in the ring, but when I look back at the video, you can really hear how loud it was. So it's special for me because obviously I'm West Ham through and through. So yeah, good to hear. And obviously, feel like West Ham supporters get behind their fighters. So I'll be getting bigger and better soon.
And I technically do have claret and blue. I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to get out wherever it is. Bear with me one moment. I'm just going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. Yeah, you know what? There you go. Just take my shirt off celebration. There you go. Claret and blue. There you go. Not exactly West Ham. And that red, let's call it England away kit, not United. But yeah, that is better. Claret and blue. And like I said, I'm grateful I got that clip. And that is just something I hold deeply to my heart, because I said, when I heard it, it reminded me of Upton Park. And I said, it's the best atmosphere since the home game against Sevilla in the Europa League last 16. That's probably the best West Ham atmosphere I've heard recently. But yeah, no, I'm proud of you, bro. And just before we break down the professional debut, just sold my car to JP Omeaea. Talk about that. What a chant. I love it.
No, I know. Not many people understood the chant. They thought I was a car salesman, but obviously if you're West Ham, you know obviously it's from Paqueta, but only a few people understood that one. But that was a good song.
That was a great song, and that chant's going to forever stick with you. Now, going off of the chant, and I said that hits me as well, just to say you were able to hear it. Obviously, you can hear everything in your court. It's tight knit. It's like a lion's den. I'm not trying to quote Millwall there. But apart from that, how did a professional debut go? And just describe it from the first round to fourth, because it was beautiful and one of the best professional debuts I've ever seen live.
Yeah, it was it was a mature performance. Going in just before I was going in there, I was sort of a bit I always get nerves, but I felt like there's a bit more nerves this time because I've been out of ring for a while since then. So you was sort of questioning stuff, but as soon as I got in there, I sort of remembered, not remembered, but it all comes back, and I was in my flow. So I felt like it went perfect. The opponent didn't really give me much to sort of work on because I know what my style is, so it didn't really gel as much as I would have liked to. But that's what you get in a professional game with some of these journeymen. But I was glad how I performed on the night with the atmosphere I had.
I love to hear it. And you mentioned out there, describe yourself for the fans that don't know. And one thing that comes to mind when you fight a journeyman, for people that are counter punchers, you rely on them throwing. And when someone's just tucking up there, you can't really work your game plan or play out. So first of all, I'm going to break that down into two questions. For the fans that don't know, break down your style. And the second question there, what is the most difficult part about fighting a journeyman?
Yeah, I feel like my style is more of a pressure counter puncher. Like I'll be on the front foot, but I'm trying to set them up, counter them. But like with a journeyman, they don't throw much. They know what they're doing. They know what their sort of job is. They're there to survive. So it's a hard one to play with them. But that's obviously where I've got to learn, and they're bringing me on.
I love to hear that. And as you say there, not to focus on the negatives again, of course, it's all said and done now and we've moved past it. But from the cancellation on September 2nd to October 14th, do you think it was meant to be? And obviously, as we all say, it's God's plan. But how did it affect you mentally? And do you think that that was the right timing? Obviously, it's out of your control, September 2nd now. But do you think that went as best as you wanted it to go?
Yeah, obviously at the time I was hurt. I was hurt for not quite a bit. Obviously, I went on holiday, I think 2 days after, so I had time to switch off, but I was hurt for a bit. But then we had the date straight away, so I knew I had something to work on. And then now that I look back, it doesn't affect me. Like the debut's done now, so everything happens for a reason.
As you said there, everything happens for a reason. I love that saying, and that's what happens in life. So now, just before we go from October 14th, talk about just being swarmed by the 350 plus fans that you had after your pro debut. Because I did see a clip on Instagram recently, and wow, like I said, I'm not surprised I didn't find you.
Yeah, well, I took more damage from them lot than I did in the ring. Had all scratches over me, but yeah, it was at the time I was a bit overwhelmed. But when I look back at it, I still look at them now. I look back at the videos and I can't stop laughing at some of them. It was a good night from the fans' point of view, and obviously from my view.
I love to hear it. And what was your post-fight meal on the night? Where did you go to celebrate?
I went Five Guys. That was the only place that was open, so went straight to Five Guys.
What's your Five Guys order?
Uh, what did I have? I had a double bacon cheeseburger and a milkshake.
Ooh,
It
I
was
love it.
nice to end the night.
Oh, obviously. Honestly, I wish I could get something off your court. I've definitely got to treat myself because I don't give myself enough credit for what I do. Humbly, obviously. But I need to reward myself soon. And I'm not a fighter, but unless misfits come calling, then. But yeah. So anything else that I'm missing out on? Unless you want to move on to the second pro fight.
No, I think that's it really. It was people always say your debut special, enjoy it as much as you can. I never like I just thought, yeah, all right, mate. It's just I just thought it's another fight. But now that I've done it, I know what they're on about. Like, it's definitely a special moment of my career. Like, from the amateurs to obviously turning pro, it's definitely a night that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So I definitely take that for granted when people did say it.
And I'm definitely proud of you, and all your fans are, and the West Ham faithful are. And as you said, and this isn't biased, it's the God-forsaken truth, and it's hand on heart. The West Ham fans are the best fans in football, and there's not another community like us. Now, moving on to November the 11th, and this was a quick turnaround, and I didn't expect it. Obviously, you had said big fight news coming. I just wasn't sure what was to come. Wasserman Boxing down in Brighton. I believe it was Harlem Eubank headlining, the hometown boy, Brighton boy. Big name there in Chris Eubank. I believe he's his nephew. Yeah, they're cousins, aren't they? So how
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
feel, not headline, but being on an undercard of a massive card in Brighton, historic venue, historic meaning behind it, and making your second pro fight? And obviously not to focus on the negatives, but you did get dropped in the first 30 seconds.
Oh, nice one for bringing that up. Nah,
Sorry, bro.
it was obviously I've done the debut, and I had heard rumors about me being on that show. So when it got confirmed, I was buzzing to obviously be under Harlem Eubanks undercard. Obviously he's in my gym, so it was good that two of us from the gym were boxing on the same night, and it's his homecoming. So I knew it was going to be a special night. And Brighton, it's not just me. It's not just about me. Like, you've got to think of the fans as well. So they had a good night out as well. So I had another good load of people going down to Brighton. So it was definitely another good sort of night.
I love to hear that. And like you said, you've got to think about the wider people. And of course, obviously you are lower down on a bill, but for the people that got to saw you, you've now built a Brighton faithful. Carl Sampson, just talk a little about it. I'm not going to bring it up again, not to offend you, but talk about round one, go to round four, and you won on the contest 38-37.
Yeah, it was. We knew about Carl Sampson. Like, he's obviously a journeyman, but he ain't no mug. Like, we knew that he was sort of a step up. Like, it was one of them. He's the first round. I think it was the first 30 seconds. He just caught me. Like, there's nothing nothing else. He caught me with a good shot. I've gone down. I've come back up. I've obviously lost that round, so I'm sort of chasing the fight then. And obviously it's only a 4 rounder, so nothing was really in my favour in that sense. But I got the job done, so I just move on from that and learn from it. It doesn't faze me that I got chopped or that. Like, it weren't nothing. Wasn't hurt or nothing. I was straight back on it. So yeah, it doesn't faze me one bit.
I love to hear that, and you take it on the chin, obviously literally and physically as well. But you roll with it, and you move on. Like you said, you don't let it affect you. Of course, in boxing, I think as of late it hasn't been talked about a lot. But I do remember with Anthony Joshua and so many other fighters, when they get knocked down for the first time in their professional career, it's so talked about because of course it's boxing. It's not the UFC. It's not MMA where you can go to the ground, you grapple. It's a complete different story there. But to be knocked down onto the canvas, it's such a big thing in boxing. But I think we've moved past it a lot now. And like I said, I like that you've not let it phase you. And again, what was your walkout song for that one again? Was it the same one?
Yeah, it was the same one. So same ring walk. That one was Murder on the Dance Floor.
Love to hear it. And how many fans did you bring down to Brighton for that one?
I think just over 150 or 160. And that was on a Friday night. So
Yeah.
obviously going down to Brighton from West London's hard, but I had a coach load and obviously people coming up on the train and that. So still had good support again.
And just for the first time in about 10 years' time, we unfortunately didn't do the double over Brighton this year in the Prem, but we kind of did away last year because we beat them in the Prem last year and we got a win in Brighton because of you. So West Ham winning down there, we barely beat it. It was Everton that was our bogey side and they still are, but it's Brighton now. Again, with that performance, how would you compare it to the professional debut, and which one would you say was not necessarily say more impressive, but which one were you more pleased with, and which one did you prefer out of the two?
You take positives and negatives from both of them, but after the second one, I was very frustrated with just how everything sort of went in my like. Obviously, getting dropped didn't help, but it was more like it's hard to say, but he it was hard because he non-stop movement. I was getting not that I showed it, but in my head I was getting frustrated and everything. So there was a lot to learn from it. But yeah, I wasn't happy with the performance. But like I said, it's a learning game. I'm still learning on the job. So I'm only gonna improve from it.
I love it. And again, likewise with the first fight, anything you want to recap or reminisce on before we move on?
What was that? Sorry, it cut out. I didn't
No,
hear that
you're all right.
first
No
bit.
worries. I get that a lot. Technical difficulties as always. Is there anything you wanted to recap on or reminisce on, like talk about before we move on the second fight, that is?
Nah, just frustrating performance, but got the job done. So move on from it. Bigger and better things.
And not to focus on the negatives, of course, but were there any moments in your mind you thought when it was going to the judges' scorecard that you thought it could have been a draw or it could have gone the other way?
Nah, I was pretty confident I had won the next three. The only reason it was close on the scorecards because he's dropped me in the first, but if it weren't for the drop, I don't think it would have been close on the scorecards. But it's a four rounder, so I've got to win the next three without doubt, which I did. So no, I didn't see any other winner except me. It was just the first round was a bit of a scary moment. Well, the first minute, say, because I was in control after that. So it was just the first 30 seconds where I've been dropped. So I think a few people got that. Few people got scared, but I kept calm and I got the job done.
I love to hear that, and I like that you see the positives and the negatives, and you keep composure because most people, I'm not even going to say most people, but everyone's different and everyone has their own style. Some crumble under pressure, and some, like you say, thrive under pressure, and pressure makes diamonds. So we go on to that. How did you celebrate with the fans, and did you manage to greet everyone? Of course, a lot less this time, but obviously meaningful, and obviously the JP Omeaea fan base and the West Ham fan base is unreal. Did you get to meet everyone after the fight?
Yeah, I see. That's one thing I'll never not do is see everyone after. See everyone try and see everyone I can before they leave, just to say thank you for coming. But yeah, I see everyone, and then I still had a few of my mates in that stage, so we had a little night out in Brighton after.
I love that. And yeah, we're gonna keep those cards close to our chest. But in terms of a post-fight meal, obviously it would have probably been 8 p.m. if not more, and it would have been dark. Did you manage to get some chips and give some to the seagulls, or what was your post-fight meal?
Uh, I didn't even. I don't think I ate. I think I went straight out, so sort of fucked up on that one. But yeah, I went straight out. To be fair.
And if you care to disclose, if I'm allowed to ask, what's your favorite drink?
Well, I do like a Guinness, but the Peroni I would have.
I love it.
Mm.
Proper gen, a proper man's drink. And when are we gonna get the Forge Irish Stout sponsoring you?
No, that ain't up to me to decide that. But yeah, should be sponsored by.
Love that. And if they sponsor you, definitely put in a word for me. Uh, anyways, as we move on, 2024 is here. Just before we go on to 2024, as I said at the start, recap 2020, my words are going. Recap 2023 and describe and sum up 2023 as your life. And just before we move on as well, sorry to keep doing this, New York, that just looked like Home Alone. It looked beautiful. Talk about that New York trip.
Hmm. Oh yeah, that was I've been there before, sort of similar time, Christmas time, but yeah, New York, unbelievable. Best time of year to go, I think, as well at Christmas. So it's definitely a special place it is.
So there, and that looked amazing. I was just so I wouldn't say jealous because I don't get jealous, but I was just in awe, and I was like, oh, I just want to be there. Anyways, breakdown 2023 and personal life and boxing life. Talk about 2023 for JP Omeaea.
Yeah, pretty. I would say a very good year. Only little downfall, obviously, leaving Team GB. That was sort of a bit of a tough time, but obviously I knew there was a bigger future ahead, turning professional, which ending 2-0, and then obviously seeing West Ham lift up the trophy. So yeah, it was a year to remember, definitely.
That was the one thing in my mind there. That Conference League, wow, it brought me to tears, and we know it as West Ham fans, and you were there as well. So, like I said, I don't get jealous, but I was just happy, and everyone that went out there, I wish I really did go out there now. But wow, like you get me emotional a little bit. But like I said, I've been supporting West Ham my whole life, and just to watch games from us in the Championship to now, and obviously Bowling Ground and Upton Park. Sorry, you get me emotional now. Gotta keep composure, but yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of 2023. Now we go into 2024. When can fans next expect to see you out?
No dates confirmed of yet, but I would say around March time. We're looking at a few dates, but nothing to be confirmed yet. But I'm in the gym training, so I'm sort of ready whenever, really.
And was that BTM 14, or can we not disclose that yet?
No, God knows. Obviously, I don't know who it's going to be. That's not for me to decide. I just get in there and box. I try and leave that stuff to the people that deal with it, but I'm just a boxer.
And are you still managed by Darren Barker?
Nah, we've parted way. And with obviously the recent news being with Condon Boxing, so Jamie and Mick will be managing me going forward now.
Love to hear it, and I've got that on my photo. I took a screenshot earlier today just to ask you about that question. How does it feel signing with Condon Boxing? Obviously, 2-0 prospect JP Omeaea in the West Ham robe. Talk about it, and sorry, we don't talk about West Ham enough, do we? But talk about signing with Condon Boxing.
Yeah. Sort of come about obviously Mick being in the gym, so yeah, obviously Jamie come as well, so we had a good chat, discussed the future and everything, and I feel like they're the people that was going to bring me on and to the big nights that I want to be in.
I love to hear it. And what do you expect in 2024? How many times do you want to be out? And could we say strap season for this year?
That's for them to decide. I'm confident in my ability, so it's obviously up to them for when to push me and everything. But yeah, the main goal is being active, stepping up the rounds, and then towards the end of the year, could be seeing title fights or early New Year. But that's obviously up to Jamie and Mick and my trainer Adam Martin to decide when I do sort of step up, etc.
I love to hear that. And now going off of boxing now, JP, obviously we don't speak about them enough, but what a December it was for West Ham United, beating Spurs away, beating United at home, beating Arsenal away. Talk about December, and we ended the year off on a high.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're climbing the table, so we had good results. Obviously, beating some top teams. So yeah, good way to end the year with West Ham.
Love to hear it because I reminisce every single year we play Arsenal away between just after Christmas, so Boxing Day, and then just before the end of the new year. And typically we always lose, but that was a great performance. We'll talk about it there. Where do you see us finishing in the league this year? And is it a top 7, top 6 finish? Do we get European football for a fourth consecutive year in a row?
I don't see why we can't. Obviously, not the best of results today, but I think we've got a few players injured and Kudus being out for the nation thing.
Mm.
So yeah, I think we're gonna finish pretty high, still in Europe. So yeah, I don't see why we can't.
And have you been to many home and away games this season?
I was at obviously I've got a season ticket at home, but yeah, I went to Liverpool away in the cup. Where else? Another. Yeah, just Liverpool away before. Yeah, I think it was before Christmas we had them. But
And
it's hard to get tickets because obviously you need the points and that. So it's hard to
yeah.
get tickets nowadays at away.
Honestly, my last away game, and I'm probably going to leave it at this because there's not a better way to leave an away game. But my last away game was the EFL Cup 2021. Manuel Lanzini 1-0. We beat United, and there's not a better way. And just beating Man United 1-0. Oh my God. I just remember leaving, and basically my throat was gone, my voice was gone. I'm just shouting 1-0 to the Cockney boys in front of all of the Manchester faithful, and everyone was just silent. So that was great. But yeah, no, again, another humble brag. But no, I loved it. And one of the best weeks of my life because unfortunately on the Sunday, we watched Jesse Lingard score against us and beat us at the London Stadium. But I got to watch Ronaldo live. Then I went to the EFL Cup, watched West Ham beat United at Old Trafford. Then I went to AJ Usyk. So that was one of the best weeks of my life. And that I'll never forget. But anyways, as you said, it's really hard to get tickets now, especially with the point system, especially European games. So we're going to go on here and we're going to end off on a high. Do you see us winning the way for Europa? I was going to say conference. We're in the Europa. Do you see us winning the way for Europa League?
Well, we're still in it, so we've definitely got a chance. But it's a tough one. It's very tough. It depends how we turn up because West Ham can be a really good side or a really shit side. So it just depends how we turn up. But I'm pretty confident we could.
And if you could pick anyone for the last 16, obviously we've got one of the second place in the Europa versus third place in the Champions League. And imagine if Paris Saint-Germain and Kylian Mbappe at the London Stadium would have been unreal. But who do you see us playing? Would you want a Milan? Would you want a Rome? Or just want an easy side to just get through to the next round?
Yeah, I was going to say just get an easy side. We'll meet them in the final. Don't want to just get to the final. That's all that matters.
I love that. And God willing, we'll be in Dublin. You can have all the Guinness in the world in Dublin and we'll win the final
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I'll definitely wherever it is, I'll hopefully be there.
I love to hear it, and you definitely will. And flying the flag high for the West Ham faithful. And like I said, just talking on the Europa League, that run when we played Sevilla, Lyon, and obviously Frankfurt. Could you imagine if West Ham played Barcelona in the semi-final of the Europa League? That would have been unreal.
Oh, I know that would have been a very good trip. You treat it as a holiday as well. So
Yeah, because I know a few West Ham fans already booked their tickets to Barcelona. So, but yeah. Anyways, as I said, we don't make it about West Ham enough. Oh, last question there. When are you going to sell out the London Stadium?
no, that's definitely a dream of mine. So hopefully one day I can fight there, but that'll be in the future.
And would you want it against a Millwall fan, or would you just want it West Ham versus anyone?
Anyone, it doesn't bother me. It's not about them, it's about me. So I couldn't care less who it is.
Of course, and you'll have your world title there and you'll be main event. And last few questions, just before I let you go. Obviously, you're a lightweight fighter. What's your opinion on the lightweight division, not only in the United Kingdom, because the prospects is stacked, but in the world? And we see Devin Haney becoming two-weight world champion against Regis Prograis at super lightweight as well.
I'm actually going to be competing at super feather. It's only because the fights were made at 60 kilo, but I'll
Oh,
be contending for titles at super feather. So that'll be my weight.
oh my bad. That's why you shouldn't go off a box rack. But what's your
Yeah,
opinion on the
yeah,
super feather? Because no, but it makes sense because last minute opponents are obviously finding journeyman. But
yeah,
what's your opinion on super feather, not only in the United Kingdom but in the world?
yeah. It's definitely I think every division's tough, but also you've got the likes of Joe Cordina, who's he's world champion, so he's probably number one. Obviously being from Great Britain, so it's definitely a top class.
And just before I let you go, JP. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, go on. All right.
Just before I let you go, Who do you think wins, Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk?
Tyson Fury. I just think he's the bigger man. Skill wise, Usyk, but I don't think that sort of plays a part in this. I think Tyson Fury's too big, so I reckon he does the job.
I love to hear it. And just for let you go, sold my car to JP Omeaea. Gonna leave it on that. JP, what's your message to the fans that supported you in 2023? We're there for your professional debut, your second fight, and will continue to support in 2024. What can they expect for a big year?
Just another busy year and more special nights to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of Ealing, the fighting pride of West London, and the fighting pride of West Ham, JP Omeaea.
Thank you very much. Go subscribe to Anything Blows.